If you've never been on, what we're going to do this morning is usually in the first portion of this meeting, we go through some like social media tips or like news or new features or things that are happening within social media. And then the second part is going day by day, giving you ideas to not only post about Thrive, but also to post about what I call your niche. And this is the community that you're trying to create with your social media. So how to keep people engaged, keep your followers with you. So giving you some ideas on that as well. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Saturday. I know weekends are usually reserved for spending time with your family, and who wants to get up early on a Saturday? Not really anyone, but you are dedicated to your business and treating it like a business. And I just commend you for that. So the first thing that we're going to be going through is do versus don'ts when it comes to creating content and your social media. And I'm kind of going to elaborate some of these points and we'll dive right into planning our week. So first of all, the first do is creating an ideal customer persona. We discussed this. I do have a video on my YouTube that goes into great detail about how we create the ideal person that you are trying to market to. And go step by step. So if you haven't attended that one or watched that one, feel free to go to my YouTube page. It's Megan Holcomb and look up that. So do create an ideal customer persona. Do not try to please everyone with your content. If you are trying to reach everyone, then you are essentially reaching nobody because you're that's just all over the place. You're just throwing something and hoping it sticks, and you're constantly changing like your direction. When you have a very specific person that you're trying to reach and understand that person or what interests them and building community around a very specific topic, that is on your social media. I'll give an example of this that I've seen within my own social media within the last couple of weeks. It works. I can say for a fact. Next do is create content for your ideal customer. And that's exactly why we do this Zoom every single week, is so that we can create content that relates to a very specific group of people. I'm super choppy. Shoot. My internet is always awful. Let me know. Oh, okay, it's good for you. Okay. I'm okay to see problem because my internet's been weird lately. So just drop it in chat if I can do some kind of choppy. So create content for your ideal customer. So this is how we come together. This is why we have a very, very unique strategy that is around a specific type of group of people that you're trying to reach. Do not take content without a strategy. Again, it's you just throwing something out for the day, hoping that it sticks. We talked about, I believe it was last week or the prior one. It's bad. Shout. Okay, give me a moment. I think we just need to have some time. Hope I get disconnected. It's usually not bad if I make my where do I get my hotspot? Can you guys hear me now? Does it look kind of bad? Medium sound great. I might just have to. Can you guys hear me okay? Or is it still really bad? No, it doesn't like me today. It doesn't like me most days. It's still really bad. Dang it. me see if I can continue recording on here. Okay. Is that still bad?
No, it's so much better.
Okay. For the love of Pete. Maybe I can actually show my face then instead. Okay. So we're good. No feedback, nothing. Okay. Awesome. Sorry for the technical difficulties. My internet has been super weird. We have fiber and you would think that it would be good for the amount of money we pay for it. No, whatever. Okay. So I'm going to go back a step. So the first do was create ideal customer persona. The first don't was don't try to please everyone with your content, because if you're trying to please everyone, you're essentially pleasing nobody. Second do is create content for your ideal customer. And that's why we're here today and every Saturday, is to not only create content that's going to relate to the people that you're trying to reach, but it gives you a unique strategy so that it's much more focused. It actually takes a lot off of your plate also, if you're not just sitting there trying to think of what am I going to post every single day. Do not make content without a strategy. We did discuss this, I think last week or the week prior, about treating your business like a business, and how large corporations and other companies don't just like come up with their marketing for the day on the fly. They plan things out. And if we want our business to pay us like a business, then we need to do the exact same thing. Have a content, have a target, understand what we're posting ahead of time. This one was really good. I thought it was kind of an aha for me. I usually like to do some research and find some ideas and stuff like that for this beginning portion. So this do is have various contact points for your people to reach you. I think so often we think that everyone just knows to send us a DM if they're interested. We'll sometimes not even give them a point of contact or an action point for them to actually reach out to us or give them permission to reach out to us. Some people will just sit on the sidelines because they're like, okay, do I send you a message? Do I comment on this post? Do I reply to this story? Like, what do I do? So make sure that you have various contact points, whether that's sending a message, replying to a comment, maybe sending an email, some sort of call to action. Yes. Otherwise, sometimes people just need that additional nudge or need that permission. Do not assume that your audience knows how to reach you. So maybe you have a link tree or a milkshake in your profile, directing them, if you're interested, go to this. If you're interested, send me a message. Like, my inbox is always open, reply to this, double tap this. Sometimes people just need you to direct them how to interact, not only interact with your content, but also how is your preferred method of being reached out to. Do solve your ideal customer's problems. So this is where creating your ideal customer persona comes into play. So when you're creating this fictitious person, oftentimes it sounds a lot like you were before you joined the business, or like yourself, but understanding what are the pain points of this person, what are the issues that they're having on a daily basis, so that you can be the problem solver for them. Are they tired on Mondays? Do they struggle with paying their bills month to month? Are they stay at home? Are they single? Do do they still, even though they're single, they're still having trouble making ends meet? Are they married and they just feel like they want to contribute to the household? Like, what is their problem? Because you need to figure out what their problem is in order for you to be a solution. Don't only sell to your audience. So don't just sit there and like list out a bunch of benefits. I see so many people doing this when they're like, creating like either their stories with their product or posts with their product. They're just like, it's like a word vomit of everything about yourself and nothing about how this will be a solution for somebody else. And so anytime that I'm trying to, if I'm showing my 3 steps in the morning, I'm explaining like why it is this is a solution. So like this morning, for example, I said, like, when you have meetings in the morning and a birthday in the afternoon, you definitely need energy. And it was my capsules. The other day I was talking about how my kids are home for the week because it was like their fall break or whatever. Like Minnesota has this weird like Minnesota education, whatever. Anyways, so then I talked about how I definitely need Black Label because I'm going to need some patience. And then on the next slide, I showed a picture of the capsule. So the first one I was explaining kind of what was going on with my life. The second one, I just showed a picture of the patch and explained exactly how it is that this thing helps you with your mood. So this piece in it, this is how it provides help with your mood. And this piece in it, this is also how it sustains mood. So like talking about the problem and then showing how this is the solution. Do build connection with your community. So engaging with people, asking them questions, just building general relationships. Do not try to be best friends with everybody. You will be exhausted. You will, if you're referring to Instagram, yeah, I know, I want to be everybody's best friend too. But if you're just creating connections within your community, that even can mean like between people that are in your following, building connections that way. But I think we try so hard to like be best friends with everybody, and then we end up not even creating connection with anyone. So I think about, I actually had a friend of mine, a sideline sister of mine, reach out to me the other day and was asking me advice about her following. And she's like, I'm going and engaging with some of the people that I'm following, and this person hasn't posted in a month. Like, what do I do? I'm like, there's no way for you to build connection with that person on any scale. But they can still follow you. So like, don't be afraid to like weed out the people that you're unable to even create connection with at all. We just like hold on to these people. Like maybe one day they will start posting so I can engage with them. If they haven't posted in a month, there is no way for you to build like any sort of connection with them. You can't comment on their posts. You can't see how it is that you guys have things in relation with each other. There's no way. If they're only posting one time a month, that there's no way you're even going to cultivate a minuscule relationship with them. So don't be afraid to like unfollow people, unfriend people. As you evolve as a person too, I think about even just myself within this last year, how things have evolved from like, this is the way that I was in the beginning of the year. And now I've evolved into this other human because things have happened in my life. And so there were people that I followed before that I no longer want to follow because they're not in alignment with the things that I'm talking about. I'll just give you an example. Like before it was very like gym rat because I was on this weight loss journey, which I still am. It's just evolved into a different aspect. It was very much like gym rat, lots of swearing, music that I don't listen to anymore. Very self-centered kind of a thing. And now I've evolved into like, I've always been Christian, but very Christian based. So then like those people, I'm not going to follow them anymore. And here's the thing, when I transitioned from this to this, I'm not saying you should be switching up everything all the time, but this is a monumental shift in my life that happened. So I felt the nudge to switch, but I lost followers in that switch. But that is okay because I understand who's the ideal person I was trying to reach. I wasn't getting a ton of engagement when I was the other person. The only thing people were liking were my before and after pictures. Any of my other ones weren't getting a lot of engagement because it wasn't really in alignment with who I was. And I felt like I couldn't provide a ton of value all the time because I felt like I was in conflict. So understand that when you are narrowing down your niche, you are going to probably lose some people and you're probably going to gain some people, which is awesome. But you want like-minded people within your circle that you can provide value to, that if in fact they were to join your team, that you would mesh well with this person. Like, why? Not saying that not everybody can do this business, because yes, everybody can do this business, but how do you expect to mentor and guide and teach somebody if you have zero commonality with them? If they're somebody that's super negative and you're super positive, like, granted, people evolve, but like, if that's all they're putting out there, do you really think that they're going to adapt this business and like run with it? Or are they going to be the type of person that's constantly going to come up with excuses as opposed to solutions? Like, you need to start thinking about how yes, we should attract people that are truly needing something within their life, but we also need to make sure that we're appealing to people that are above, like, that we would normally think that we have the capability of teaching. So I think, Chas, what did she say? She said, you need to start recruiting up because you have the capability. And I was like, yes, I do. Okay. And I think about her and Amber, and because Chas on the outside before appeared to have like all this stuff together, like her life together. She had a well-paying job. She, looked like she was in control of her health because she walked all the time and she da. If Amber would have discredited her, her business would not be where it's at. And to be honest, the majority of us wouldn't even be here. So like, don't just think you need to appeal to just the person. I think we think of the typical person like they need financial help. They're struggling. Like, I just feel like there's this pocket of people that we consistently try to appeal to when we need to step outside and really be bold about our message. So that's the last one. Build connection with your community. Don't try to be friends with everyone. So now, oops, I didn't mean to like throw that at you guys. So now we're going to go on to planning our week. I'm going to check the chat briefly when I wrap up, just to answer questions, give any insight on anything or whatever. So Monday, I'm going to give you what I usually do with this is I'll give the day of the week, a Thrive post, a niche idea, and then some ideas for your stories. And then it is your responsibility as a business owner to take that and apply yourself in your situation and run with it. So Monday, Thrive post. Capsules on a Monday are always a staple for me because people are tired on Mondays. So on Facebook, a simple picture of your capsules in the morning with one sentence. People aren't going to read a novel, you guys. They're not on a Monday morning. I would not. I can tell you that when I'm trying to rush my kids out the door, like, no, thank you. One quick sentence that's going to capture someone's attention about how this is a solution to their problem. So that can be like hashtag no coffee needed, and then just post a picture and maybe like have the timestamp in there of what time you woke up. Or you could post like rushing the kids out or getting the kids ready back after they've been home all week, or back to the grind, hashtag you need this, like whatever, something super simple. I think we always think we have to make this like long, elaborate post about like our entire story. No, sometimes you need those quick hitters because not everyone's going to have the opportunity or the time or the desire to sit and read like a really long thought out post. There is a very appropriate time to post those types of posts, and I do think they're important so that people can understand your story and they can relate to you. But if you're thinking about what is the time of day that I'm posting, where is the mental state, where are they at within their day? If they're rushing out the door, it needs to be fast. They're not going to sit here and scroll and read your thing for a long period of time. I always say this because that's one of the ways that I was brought in, is that Steph posted the day that I reached out to her was, if you hate Mondays, you should reach out to me. And I was like, yeah, that's me. Super simple, nothing crazy. I was like, all right, fine. So sometimes those simple ones are super important. Now, as far as your niche post for the day, inspire people. They're starting their week. They need something to latch onto, something to get them going. Share a quote, like use the tool that I spoke about last week, Canva, to create your own. I know so often that we want to just, and if you're in a pinch, that's totally fine. But so often we want to just like grab ones that we find in Pinterest or whatever, like make it your own. Have like a unique theme. Like I have a very specific color theme that I go to so that people know, like if they see this type of color, it's from me. So like right now it's fall, so it's very like fall colors, and I might just stick with it because I like those colors, but doesn't feel like mine looks dumb. Don't try to overcomplicate it. So like for me, I have fall colors. If I'm making a quote, sometimes I'll do like the background is just a fall shot that I've taken, and then the insert where it has the quote is like a little thought bubble. Let me see if I can share and show you guys. Only the host can share. Okay, well, I'll just post some examples in like the announcement of this Zoom. But or like just one solid color with a quote inside, or like an overlay or something like that. So try to stick with something and create your own content. We are content creators. We are not content sharers. We are not content borrowers. We are content creators. So play around with Canva, the thing that I shared last week. And yeah, do like a solid background with a quote. Good idea. And you can like just copy the exact same one, put it on there, whatever. And then maybe in the caption, share some insightful thought that goes along with that quote. Stories. Do a boomerang. Do something fun with your capsules and your stories. And then again, quick message of how this would help your ideal customer. You might say like, well, that's kind of repetitive because I'm doing a post about it too. No, because some people only watch stories. Some people only go on the newsfeed. You need to make sure that you're being, what's the word I'm trying, consistent with both ways of content, because some people prefer one way over the other. And we want to make sure that we're hitting everyone. Tuesday. So I think it was last week or maybe the last time we talked about like how you need to understand where somebody is within their life when you're posting about stuff. So like last week, probably, or this past week, Tuesday might have not been a super good time to talk about like money and the business or whatever, as far as like a monetary perspective, because people just got paid on the 15th. Now we are Tuesday and people aren't getting paid until this Friday. So when would be a perfect time to talk about the monetary aspect of the business? This Tuesday, because they're running out of money. They've paid all their bills. Usually people are like, oh man, I didn't allocate very well. They have more month than money and all those things. So talking about the business, talk picture of yourself, or if you have a family, yourself plus your family. And one thing that this could help a potential with, be very specific and pick one thing. Don't like list 850 things. Don't list anything that is like super extravagant, because I feel like sometimes people are in a place where they just need a little bit extra. So pick one specific thing. Maybe it's gas, maybe it's groceries, maybe it's debt, maybe it's feeling independent, like one specific thing about how this would help that person. Your niche, hockey equipment, exactly, which is really expensive. Niche, carousel post, holidays are coming. Yes, the more that we can talk about that, I think it's good. Your niche, create a carousel post. I spoke on this last week, but I can reiterate real fast. A carousel post is like multiple slides on Instagram. So it's like and then this carousel post, you'll post like 5 things or 5 ways educate your audience on your specific niche. So if yours is that I'm just going to use Star because I see her lovely face. If you're a homeschooling mama, 5 ways to engage your kids when homeschooling, 5 things you do when you feel like your kids are getting overwhelmed, 5 resources for homeschooling content or homeschooling books or whatever, anything like that. So 5 things or 5 ways. So like for myself, I use like 5 Bible verses when you're feeling overwhelmed. That's another example, but it's just a carousel. So it's like you have one of the, like you have the 5 tips to blah, blah, blah on the first one. And then on the second one, it's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. The reason that we utilize this tool on Instagram is because it will show up one time in somebody's timeline. And then later on in the day, Instagram will regenerate like a second or third photo from that slide. So your stuff will pop up again. So maybe if they didn't like stop the first time, maybe they will stop the third or the fourth or the 5th time that your stuff is showing up. And the longer you can keep people on your content, the more Instagram's going to populate it out to other people because it sees like, oh, this is a value, like they're taking time to actually go through this. So if they have to scroll, that's giving them more time on your page. Like it's a genius tool. I started utilizing it recently a lot more, and I've seen insane growth on my Instagram in the last week. Insane. So I just want to encourage you, like at first it might not seem like you're getting a lot of momentum, but if you're consistent with doing this, you will see changes. If you're consistently staying within the same value-based content that's providing information to people on a very specific topic, the more that you're consistent with it, it will pay off. And I know it's really hard at first when you're transitioning in that from that I need to sell to people all the time because my business needs it. When you're transitioning into I need to provide value on this specific topic, it's hard because you might not see the fruits of your labor immediately. But I can tell you within this last week, hold on, I gotta look because it's insane. I gotta pull up my insights so I can give you guys very specific. And let's go with the last 2 weeks update. My accounts reached went up 870%. My accounts that have engaged with my content went up 418%, and my total followers went up 6%. That's crazy numbers, like crazy. I think 2 weeks ago, I was at like 2,600 followers on Instagram, and now I'm at 2,800. Like it works. You just have to be patient and really stick to it. The second that you stop, like you're like, oh, this isn't working. And then you just go back to the way that you were doing things before, like you're not going to see any flow. So promise this works. The idea behind it is when someone visits your page, it's all content that they can get something from. Not that you're trying to get something from them, that they can get something from to better their life. Then when they pop in your stories, they can see, this is what I'm doing on a daily basis. This is how it's helping me. This is my life or whatever. That's where you sell to people, is in your stories, not on your posts, especially on Instagram. I feel like Facebook's a little different. Like sometimes I feel like I can be a little bit more salesy, if you will, on Facebook, as long as I'm throwing in enough other content. But on Instagram, it's got to be value-based. Agreed. Yep. See, it's not just me. Good. Stories. Doing an unfold. So what an unfold is, like a multi-slide story that your story kind of unfolds in. So it'd be like a picture of yourself or your family, or you can even just use like a generic background. But the idea is like you have multiple texts that as you go through, it adds on another piece of text that is about why you started this business. So for example, like you could do a picture of yourself. You could say like 3 years ago, I was tired and blah, blah, blah. Or 3 years ago, we were struggling to make ends meet. This is da-da-da, this is da-da-da. If you're not making money, it can be about community. A year ago, I struggled to even keep friends. Now, da-da-da-da-da. da, 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 da. Anyways, so you would unfold the story in multiple slides. Now I would keep this under 10 if you can. Where are we on time? Oh, we're doing good. Wednesday, Thrive for Facebook. Share a fan page story, but do not share it from the fan page. Don't click the share from the fan page. Save the photo, save the verbiage in the post itself. Create a short blurb. This is my friend, so-and-so, whatever their name is. She struggled with this. And then in the comments, say like, check out her story below. Or like, oh my gosh, I relate to this person so much. I bet you will as well. Check out her story in the comments and then just post the picture. So I did this last week because I'm in the destination to 40K. And that was one of the challenges. So I used somebody I happen to know that shared a Lavelle fan page story. And I just said, like, every time I hear her story, it makes me cry. You need to check it out because I know somebody else can relate to this. And then just drop the whole story in the comments. Put your question into the chat and I'll get to it. Or if you don't feel comfortable doing a fan page, I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable anyways, and you need to do a live interview. So one of the two. Niche. Time to do a reel. If you haven't done one last week, you get to do one this week. And if you, because I challenged you guys to do one last week, so let's do one this week. Y'all, you do not have to dance. Never mind, you answered it. Okay. You do not have to dance. You do not have to know dance moves. You do not have to be coordinated, because Lord knows sometimes I'm not. The last couple that I've done, I have literally not even lip synced. I've just sat there like this and just put some like quotes and stuff like that. One of my reels from, I want to say 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Decided to all of a sudden blow up, and now it has like 30,000 views. I was like, oh my goodness, what happened? So don't think that like just because your reel only has like 100 views or 400 views right now, that it's not going to generate more later. Because sometimes Instagram will just like pull stuff and throw it out there, and it will all of a sudden blow up. And because I like one day I was like, what is happening? What is going on? So don't ever delete a reel that you feel like, oh, it only got 400 people. This probably wasn't a good time, blah, blah, blah. Because you never know what could happen in a week or two with that. So just be consistent. And I don't have in Facebook reels yet, Katrina. So if you could not rub that in, that'd be great. Thanks. I think just be patient. If you don't have Facebook reels, it makes me so mad. I know I'm probably going to rant about this until I can actually have it. They roll things out on a periodic basis, especially if it's a new feature, because they obviously don't want to like roll it out to everyone and then systems crash, right? Like we experienced not that long ago. I don't know how I got it, but I did. And here's the funny thing. My husband, like, he's a little controversial with his posting, and he's been in Facebook jail. Like, you don't even have enough fingers on your hands to count. They gave it to him. I'm like, oh, so you give it to the man that is constantly violating your community standards, but you don't give it to me? Like, what's up with that, Mr. Z? Come on. Anyways, so there's no rhyme or reason, obviously. Who knows? But if you have that feature, I highly, highly, highly encourage you guys on Facebook to utilize it, because they don't have, I think it's like 50-50. 50% of people have it, 50% of people don't. Makes me so mad. 50% of people have it, 50% of people don't. So if you're creating content on that new feature right now, your stuff will blow up. Even if it's like something you might think is insignificant or dumb, it will probably get a ton of views, because they don't have a lot of things to pull from right now, because they're only using a small sample pool. So anytime Instagram or Facebook rolls out a new feature, any new feature, you need to jump on that right away, because they're not going to have a lot of stuff to pull out initially, because people are hesitant or they're scared or whatever. But if you're like, I'm just going to jump in, I'm going to do it, chances are that your stuff will blow up first. So that's another thing. So if Facebook comes out with anything new, Instagram comes out with anything new, TikTok's pretty much just the same thing. But like if you see a new fad or trend, take that trend off of TikTok, use it on Instagram, because they're usually about a leg behind, like a week leg behind TikTok as far as trends go. So anywho, okay. Stories, detox, talk about why you're excited about it. Because chances are we will probably be getting it around that time. Even if you didn't get it, still talk about how excited you are about it. You guys need to open your mouths in your stories. Yeah, so excited. I'm so excited. I'm excited to feel like a day one thriver again, because that's what Jason said. Like, you'll feel like a day one thriver after you're done. Woo! Because you have to go off of Thrive for 10 days, in order to do it. I know, exactly. So talk about why you're excited about it. Try to think of your ideal person and like how this would benefit them. So I think of myself, as a mom or whatever, and a woman. And the other day, TMI, but it was that time. So then I talked about how balance, or it was a balance or the other one. I can't remember. Anyways, I talked about like, you need this if it's that time. Like, let me tell you. So as a woman, like, we hold on and retain a lot of water. So this would it helps for you, fit into those jeans a little bit better because you're feeling bloated all the time. It helps you take biotic. Thank you. I don't know. I was having a brain. I was like, it starts with the B. And I have it. Removing, maybe if your thing is like health and wellness, like how important it is like to remove toxic metals. Star, I can think of you. You're very holistic with your stuff. Like, detox should be like, I am running with this. Like, that's a really good thing for your platform. Yeah, so it can literally translate into anybody. If somebody's just like, if you're feeling sluggish, like, it's about to be that time of year where we eat lots of food. Like, why not give your body a reset before that happens, or purchase it ahead of time, so after the holidays, like, you can just reset your body. Oh, and then also, this is not Thrive related, for stories, do some sort of poll for engagement. This can be like a this or that. It's Halloween coming up, so do a this or that Halloween edition. Do you celebrate Halloween? Do you take your kids out trick-or-treating? Yes or no? Do you do trunk or treats? Yes or no? Like, something that's going to bring engagement to your stories that has nothing to do with your business, nothing to do with your products, nothing. Thursday for Thrive, we're going to, instead of Transformation Tuesday, we're going to be different over here, and we're going to do Throwback Thursday. So this Throwback Thursday can either be yourself, it can be a friend that you can tag, because you want to show that this is a person I know, and just talk about Throwback Thursday and say start your post with like, have you ever, and insert how you were feeling before Thrive. Have you ever, insert your feeling that you felt before Thrive. Have you ever felt like you were lacking self-confidence? Have you ever felt super sluggish? Have you ever felt uncomfortable in your own skin? Have you ever struggled to get up in the morning? Like, whatever your specific story is, have you ever, insert the tagline picture. Niche. I say it so many different ways. Your niche, however you pronounce it, whatever. Share a story related to your niche about your life. And this can be a reel or a post. You can do reels back to back. I actually highly encourage it. Maybe this is just giving a brief peek into your story and why is it that you decided this. So like, I think of Star, like, why is it you decided to homeschool? For me, it's like, why is it that I am following my faith? If somebody is like really passionate about fitness, like, why is it that you decided that fitness was really important in your life? If you're somebody that overcame addiction, like what was the pivotal point for you? Anything that relates to your story, that is the post that got 30,000 views, that told my life story. I was like, okay, cool. Yes. Why you decided to, I want to read. do low carb. Yeah, exactly. Any specific reason why it is that you specifically decided that this was something for you, because someone can relate to within your story why it is that you're passionate about creating content around this specific topic. It's not just like something you picked that you could just talk about so that you would gain followers. Like, no, this is why I am passionate with this. Thank you. Stories, share a few friends before and afters. You can go to the Dream Team page. There's a whole slew of before and afters, both in that album as well as in the comments. Just say, like, if you can, like, talk about your 3 steps in the morning, and then like say, like, it's just not me, it's like all walks of different moms, or all walks of different ages, or whatever your specific target audience is, and then just show a few different, because it's testimony. Friday, we will do a sample post or a Flex Friday. I like to give options, and this is on Facebook. So one week I might do Flex Friday. The following week I'll do like a sample post or whatever, or do a giveaway or freebie Friday or something like that. If you're doing a Flex Friday, don't use the term DFT. Nobody knows what that means. And don't try to make it look like this is this exclusive community that nobody else can be a part of or whatever. Really try to use the verbiage that you're making in that Flex Friday post to be like, this includes you too. Like, you can be a part of this too. You can feel this way too. Don't just make it about yourself. We always have room at the table. Your niche, a tool or a research source that you use that's beneficial. So I always just throw at people that I kind of understand what their niche is. So like, Star, like, what is a resource that you use to help you with homeschooling? I think of me, like, what is a resource that I use when I'm researching the Bible? Like, whatever. If you're low carb, like, what's a resource that you used to get recipes initially? What's a resource that you use to calculate your carbs? Like, whatever. Stories, Pinterest. Same. Stories, use some sort of engagement tool that is in your story. So this can be a question box. This can be the multiple choice. This can be a poll, something that is going to allow your people to engage with you. Because if you're just talking about yourself and you're not getting to know your people or asking them questions or allowing them to build community together, then you're missing out. And this is just about, it's the you show, and it's not actually about you trying to help people. Something for people to engage. And then also show yourself packing up samples or talking about what is in a sample pack. Saturdays and Sundays, I usually don't have like I don't really have a strategy for Saturdays and Sundays. I'm going to pull up the chat. Oops, that's not where I want to go. More chat. What if your niche, can you have more than one? Yeah, well, and like, yeah, you definitely, yours is homeschool mom, right? Like, being pregnant is part of being a mom. So just, you can talk about like the challenges of being pregnant and still like trying to, help your kids with their homeschooling, or like the fact that like, how are you going to navigate having a baby and teaching the other ones at the same dang time? So you definitely can do that. I would try to stay within, like, if your thing is homeschooling, I would try to stay within homeschooling. And then in your stories or like in a live or in a reel, you can talk about that. But if you're providing value-based content, like, talk about homeschooling as much as you can, if that makes sense. But yours is mom, so you can pretty much do. You're welcome. Saturdays and Sundays, I kind of do freebies. I don't really have a plan for them. Sundays, I actually try to, as much as I can, stay off of social media. Can you give me a minute, Brooklyn? I'll be right there. Okay, love you. I do have a video, a YouTube video when we went into extreme depth about how to find out your niche or how to figure it out. It's a whole video that I would recommend watching. What was I gonna say? Sundays I try to just stay off, but Saturdays it's usually like fun, short, easy stuff because people aren't typically on their phones a whole lot, or they don't have like a lot of time. Mine is, it's just, if you search Megan Holcomb, it's the same picture as my profile picture. It's the same picture as in here. You're welcome. So Saturdays, I just try to keep it light and fun. I still talk about my products. I still talk about my niche, but I try not to overthink it, because this is, you guys, this business is not meant to take over your life. It is meant to supplement your life, just as like the products supplement our life. If you want growth, there are periods of time in your business where you will have to dedicate extra time, obviously. But those are seasons. It shouldn't be like this takes priority over everything else in your life. This is meant to, how can you preach on freedom if you're always tied to your phone? That's what I think. So how can you create more freedom within your business and still be effective? And that's taking an hour or two just to bang out content for a minute. Maybe it's going to take pictures outside. Maybe it's, yes, it's not an extension of your hand. Maybe it's like, sometimes I'll just do a bunch of carousels back to back and like save them and then have a content folder in my phone. This is not meant to take over your life, you guys. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's probably because you haven't planned out your content and you're always trying to figure out what you're going to do every single day. And like, how exhausting is that? B, once you start having a flow, when you do start creating your content, it becomes so much easier. Oh my gosh, my life has become so much easier in the last 3 weeks, 4 months, whatever, since I really started to narrow things down, because now I'm like, okay, now it's a day where I post this type of content. Now it's a day where I post this type of content, and I have all this stuff on hand that's been batched previously that I can just throw in whenever. And I try to like break it up too. So like one time it might be a picture of my Bible. One time it might be a picture of my face. Maybe it's me and my child. And then maybe it's a quote, so that it's kind of broken up and they can see, like, if I need quick information, I can just pop into this specific post that she made. So yeah, if you are feeling overwhelmed, it's because you are constantly trying to reinvent things and constantly trying to think of what to post and trying to be creative without having any direction. And that is freaking exhausting, you guys. So I encourage you to take time. Can I help you?
Is it Sunday?
It's Saturday.
Oh.
It's an S day. All right. We've been on about 50 minutes. Thank you for being patient with me with my technical difficulties in the beginning. I truly, truly love this community and us coming together on Saturdays. So thank you for taking time to watch this, or being present. If you watch this on replay, I love you guys too. So have a wonderful Saturday. If you ever need like just additional help, my inbox is open, you guys. So feel free to reach out to me, but love you.